Hi there. Good morning. I wouldn't know what time you're viewing this video, but whenever you're viewing it, I hope all is well with you. All right. So if you manage to get on this channel, my persuasion will be that, or my belief is that you're looking for how to better your stay, or essential information that would enable you better yourself and your stay in the United Kingdom, perhaps yourself and your loved ones. And for that, I believe you're here. And yeah, I'm also here for you. Now, okay, my name is KJ Ajayi. I'm Nigerian, and I'm privileged to have arrived in the United Kingdom 6 years ago. Today would be June 11, 2025. Um, and just recently, I felt that, okay, you know what? I'm gainfully employed in the United Kingdom. What else can I do? Um, of course, to better my financial standing in the UK, and at the same time to add value. And I realized that YouTube gives one of the most wonderful opportunity to do that. More so, I enjoy teaching, sharing informations, and that's been one of my passions. So I decided that, okay, you know what? I want to provide as much valuable information for African migrants, especially coming into the United Kingdom. There are many things that if I had proper tuition or tutoring and guidance at the time I came in, I would have done differently. Uh, and I hope that you can take advantage of this. All right. So I just want to share with you things most people will not tell you when you come into the UK or when you are coming into the UK. So if you're just coming into the UK, you're away from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, you're relocating to the United Kingdom, there are certain realities you need to um, be aware of so that coming here, it's not just about culture shock, it is about system shock. The system here is very, very different from what we have in Africa. And most people come in here, and before you know it, they find themselves in a vortex, and the family is torn apart. The father is going to the south, the mother to the west, and the children are flung all over. And before you know it, there are many people who came into the United Kingdom, and they were better off for it, or they are better off for it. And there are many people who, 30 years after they arrived in the United Kingdom, they are neither citizens of the UK or citizens of the country they are coming from. And all of this boils down to not having the right information, not surrounding yourself with the right set of people that can give you instructions and guidance, or having a right support system to help you as you journey through the difficult terrains of the United Kingdom. There are lots of blessings coming here, I must say that, but there are also lots of things that you're unprepared for. And without the right support system, you'll be in trouble. All right. So I haven't arrived here on the 7th of March, 2019. I came in with my wife and my kids, like I said earlier. My wife got a job from our country, which brought us down to the United Kingdom. She came in January. I came in March with our three kids. Some of the beautiful things that we've enjoyed here first is the educational system. The educational system is beautiful. You see innovation and you see advancement. You see humanity, a measure of a heightened sense of uh, the divinity of man. In other words, the respect for life is one of the things that you would observe in the way the classrooms are arranged. Unlike Nigeria, where I'm coming from, where you can have 50 children in a classroom, 30 children in a classroom, you get to some classes here and you see 10, maximum of 12, 13. And it's not for a want of space, it's just because they think that every child is deserving of a measure of space to allow that child grow healthy. And that absolutely was something that blew me away. Very glad that, I mean, yeah. Um, my younger daughter was about 4 years old when we came in. She's 10 now, going to 11. She speaks very, very intelligently, able to articulate any idea whatsoever. At times she speaks around the house, and I mean, myself, my wife, even our older ones are astonished that, my God, the command of English, the ability to understand complex things, and the way she reasons is clearly higher than the average child that would be that age range back at home in Nigeria. Again, we're grateful for this. All right. So, what are some of the things you will enjoy coming into the United Kingdom? That is not the same way back at home in Nigeria or in Ghana. First things first, you enjoy the privilege of being in an organized environment. The United Kingdom is organized, to say the least. The truth is, you will never be able to comprehend how organized the United Kingdom is until you begin to spend some years here. From the surface, the organization of the United Kingdom and its effectiveness comes to you by maybe observing the consistency of the electricity supply. I've been here 6 years. Never a time has light gone out. And if you look through the rear mirror, you see a police vehicle just drove past me. Never a time has light gone out. Within the radius of certain perimeters, for certain number of houses, you have recreational park, family recreational park where children can go, their parents can go, where they can spend some fun time, decompress. Yeah, you see that. Um, Aside from that, you will observe that um, everything that are essential or that is essential to family life, the system is designed for you not to have to travel very, very far. All right. So the children's school, there are a number of schools around wherever you choose to live that your children or your child can gain admission into. Hence, you don't have to travel 1,000 miles away to go and get it, to go and get school for your children. Like my kids would probably do like 7 minutes from our house. They're in class, so I could always come out from my house maybe 10 minutes to the close of the school time, walk down there, pick them up, and before you know, we're back home. A time even came where our kids could come down home by themselves. That took a lot out of a lot of pressure away from us. There was no need for school bus. We didn't need to spend a lot of money on transportation. Weren't worried as to what the traffic condition will be, the kids coming down home, and all of that, all of that. But beautiful. The United Kingdom is well organized, extremely intelligently planned. You see the road networks, you see the transportation network, you see the train, how the train connect one with another. You see the bus systems. As a matter of fact, one of the things you realize is that in a sense, compared to Africa, people here are not crazy about cars. They're not crazy about cars. If you like fly an aeroplane on the ground, nobody cares. Okay, you can always, if you have a good job, you can always get any vehicle you want as long as you have a good job. You have spread payments. All right. That's one of the realities in the United Kingdom. You have spread payments for almost anything. You can buy an iPhone 16 or an iPhone 15, spread the payments over 4 years. And if the iPhone 17 comes out, if you lack discipline or you are the type that is crazy and trying to make impression, the UK will drown you. It would capitalize on your indiscipline and it will drown you. You become a slave to the system. These things are hard designed into the system. All right. But as you go through my channel, I'm trusting that you will find valuable content that will help you make good decisions and that will make your stay in the United Kingdom worthwhile and one that you would thank God for. All right. So, like I said, the UK is very organized. However, what are some of those things that many people are not prepared for when coming to the United Kingdom? I'll say a few. I don't have this one video is not going to give every information to you, everything to you. I'll just say one or two things. When I came in, I found myself taking Uber once, and I was going to work about the very month that I came in. And I was asking the Uber driver about the United Kingdom and what he had to say to me. He said, you know what? The UK is like being in a cult, all right? Um, you're asking someone that is in the cult and you're saying to him, what do you think about cultism? And the person tells you, he says, well, I'd rather you don't join. But then he's in it. So he says that for the most, you say, well, I'd like to join. And after I've joined, I'll see for myself that it's not worth joining, then I can take the decision from that point. I laughed, but I couldn't really make sense of what he was saying. But in retrospect, there's a measure of truth to it. All right. So, what are some of the things you need to bear in mind as you come into the United Kingdom? The realities are very, very different. Parents many times come in and they're surprised at the different way or the difference between parenting in Africa and parenting in the United Kingdom. So I've got a few points that I just jot down here just to guide, serve as a guide for me. Some of the things I'll say to you. The first thing is this. Part of the things you need to be abreast of as you come into the UK is that the bills here are as faithful as the sun that shines in the morning. You know, just as you can be rest assured that the sun would rise in the morning or the day will break, no matter how dark the night is, that there's going to be a morning, you can be rest assured that you will have bills to pay. And the bills here are very, very faithful. You can trust that they are not going to be disappointing because before you wake up, there is a bill waiting at the end of every month for you, and there is no gaming the system. You cannot beat the system. I want to encourage you. Coming into the United Kingdom, this is something you need to keep at the back of your mind. There are bills to pay. The United Kingdom does not mess around with bills. Okay? One of the things anyone who has stayed in the United Kingdom for a bit will tell you is that the UK government knows where her money is sitting. All right. If they've not come after you, it's not because they are not aware, it's because they're still going around after others. At the right time, it will come to you if you are trying to beat the system. Avoid trying to play games with the UK government, especially on your bills. If you owe a bill and you think you can dock that bill and not pay that bill, you will not believe where your name will show up or what company, what government company your name will show up in and how much doors that is going to close on you. You know, as little as taking a phone and you're supposed to be paying, or let's not even a phone now. You know, you sign a deal for between yourself and a company, you know, to get credit to load data and get credit on your phone every month, and you didn't use the data. You didn't use that mobile phone or you didn't use that SIM card, but you signed a 1 year agreement that the company will provide services and you use the service, and for that service you're going to pay, let's say you're going to pay £5, and you think just because you didn't use it for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, you won't have to pay. Such a thing does not exist. You have to pay. Yes, you didn't use it, but you signed. You have to pay. If you refuse to pay, they will send you letters, and that's another thing I need to say to you as an African migrant. The United Kingdom keeps detailed record of everything. Detailed record of everything. And if you are coming in here, sir, please get a container in your house. Madam, get a container in your house where you keep every single letter that comes through your door. If you're a new migrant in the United Kingdom, as a matter of fact, this can deter you from getting an indefinite leave to remain or British passport because all these documents will come handy. These documents are like all the letters coming through your door with your name from, let's say, from company house or from HMRC. All those letters that will be coming through your doors, they're like superpowers. While there are letters instructing you, informing you about certain things, they are also evidence of your address. They are also legal documents that can that makes it easy for companies or banks to verify that you are a legitimate person in the United Kingdom. So one of the things I want to say to you is that you need to get a bucket, a big one for that matter. Find a corner where you place it. When those letters come in, when you're done with them, put those letters aside there. When the day comes when you need to apply for something very, very valuable like your indefinite leave to remain, or you want to apply for your leave to enter or your leave to remain, or your British passport, they want to see certain documents. They want to see documents from 5 years ago. They want to see documents that has your wife's name alone on it. They want you to remove. Take for example, when you're applying for your British passport, they want to see maybe like 3 documents or 6 documents that has your name and your wife's name on it if you're married. If you can't provide that, they want to see 3 documents from every year that has your name alone, 3 documents that has your wife, and then maybe 3 documents that has your name and your wife's name. I'm going to make another video about applying for the British passport or the process of applying, getting your British passport from your ILR to your British passport. I got my British passport after staying 5 years. Now, that's not the normal thing. I'm married to a Nigerian that was born in the United Kingdom and brought back to Nigeria after 3 months. But much more than that, I've done my best to stay on the legal side, on the right side of the law, and thank God, after 5 years and some months, I got my British passport. So I'll make another video for you that will guide you, give you necessary information that would help you make that decision. From now, if you're going to get your British passport successfully and there'll be no problem, it starts from the minute you step into the United Kingdom. I'll do other videos aside from that, all right? So let's leave that for now. So like I was saying, you want to keep your documents properly. The bills here are they are taken very seriously. Your prompt payment of your bills. Let me tell you one of the things I did, myself and my wife did. We put all our bills on direct debit. Okay? All my bills, all my family bills are on direct debit. If you know you don't have the discipline to manage prompt payment, then you don't need to make any effort to manage prompt payment. Just set up direct debit on your account. Okay, for example, there are certain bills that come into my account on the first of every month. All right, look at the date you're paid at work if you started working. So let's say some company pay every month on the 25th. Some other companies pay on the 5th. Some other companies pay on the 7th. My very first company will pay every second week of every month. That's the first company I work with. Then the second company would normally pay around 7 or 8. The third company I work with usually will pay around 8 or 9. The company I work with currently pay on the 5th of every month. Now, based on the timing of my income, I set direct debits. So there are certain bills that hit my account the first of every month. So even if I've exhausted everything in my account, once I'm getting to the end of the month, I know that a certain amount of money must be in my account. Otherwise, when that call is made to my account to withdraw that money, it's going to bounce. And that's a problem. That is not good for your record. I can tell you. Your credibility, your lending power in the United Kingdom will begin to nosedive from the minute where direct debits begin to bounce in your account. So you don't want to do that. Okay. So let me tell you some of the bills that are consistent here. There are many other bills, but these are regular bills in the United Kingdom you need to take serious if you are a new immigrant. African, Nigerian, Kenyan, Ghana, new immigrants. It applies to other people coming from other parts of the world, but hey, I'm very particular about the blacks coming into this country. All right, because many people are not thorough. Many African immigrants are mentally lazy. They are just excited about having arrived in the United Kingdom, and for them, that's just it. And then people begin to go down the drain. Family begins to experience pressure, the kind of pressure that we didn't even have in Nigeria, as crazy as many of us think Nigeria is, and that is real. All right. For what you have in the United Kingdom, if you are not intelligent, deliberate, you're going to have what is called organized chaos. All right. And I don't want you to have that. So let me tell you some bills here. There's council tax. All right. So council tax is that monthly tax that goes to the council because the council must generate revenue for administration. Council tax. There is no carrying it over. Okay? Because within the council, you enjoy certain things within the council. The people who cater for the dustbin. You have 2, 3 different kinds of dustbin. We'll do another video for that. This channel is about mentoring new immigrants coming to the UK. So every video doable, I trust God for help, strength to do them so that you can have them. Okay, so the bills, we'll talk about council tax. The council collects tax. All right, the council basically is the grassroots government expression within the United Kingdom, and they are responsible for managing their council. So you have trucks coming in to take your bin away. You have certain things that has to do with schooling around the neighborhood, the trimming of trees, cutting of grasses. There are different things that the council government is responsible for, and it's from your tax that they run all these expenses. So every house, pays a council tax. So if you're single or you're a couple, as long as you've got an accommodation, every accommodation within every borough within the United Kingdom pays council tax. All right. So there's council tax. There's water bill. Now, for your water bill, I need to say this to you, that the water that comes into your house is charged separate from the water that goes out from your house. You can have two separate companies responsible for that. We have two separate companies responsible for water that comes into our home and that goes out of our home. This is also very, very important for you to be aware of, and they're going to charge you separately. You know, back in Nigeria, you have everybody's a local government. You have your own borehole, and as a matter of fact, you can turn on the tap and walk away, and go out, come back late at night, and just turn off the tap with no consequence. If you do that here, you're going to be paying with your entire salary. I'm telling you, when that bill comes out, you will find out that the United Kingdom government is very deliberate about the effective utilization of resources, and that even the water that runs from your tap is metered to know how much water is coming out of your tap. And I remember at a time where we're visited by the company that manages the water that comes into our own home. And we're told that, listen, you guys, you are how many in this house? You're about five of you. But we see from your meter that the amount of water you're using is way more than what five people should be using. How did they know? Because there's a meter. And in reality, I would say that we're okay. Occasionally people came in, stayed with us. But other than that, nothing serious. But I mean, from where we are coming from, we use water like we're swimming in the ocean, and your bills will reflect it. So you need to understand there's council tax, there's water bill. Don't forget there are two types of water bill. If you use car, there's car insurance. Now, for the car, let me tell you some things. There are multiple bills for your car. There is car insurance. Without car insurance, it is criminal. It's a criminal offense in the United Kingdom for you to drive a car without an insurance. It's a criminal offense. All right. So don't think, in Nigeria, we just drive. Most cars just have third party insurance, and that's about it. For the most of it, if you want to drive in the United Kingdom, you want to do a comprehensive insurance. All right. That is what is most common. And I'll say to you, for your own safety, you want to have a comprehensive insurance. Okay. So let's talk about the car, for example. We're still talking about bills. African migrants, please pay attention to this. If you're going to drive in the United Kingdom, there is car insurance. It's a must. It's not an option. There's car insurance. There's road tax. You need to be aware of that. There's road tax. You need to run your MOT regularly. The MOT usually once in a year. Okay. And there's a record, there's a service history on every car that ideally should be kept in your vehicle. Okay. I'll put that aside. All right. The other part is you have electricity bills. Your electricity bills are constant. And the charges for using electricity in the daytime and the charges for the night are very, very different. The night charges are lighter. In other words, if you want to do anything heavy, you're advised to do it at night when the charges the charges are lower. So you're encouraged to turn off lights when you're not using them. So you need to know that. If you are coming from Nigeria, most of the times we just leave our light on. There's gas bill, there's national insurance, there's vehicle tax, there's income tax. The income tax is the pay as you go, which comes out from your salary. All right. And again, when you're talking about organized chaos, like I said to you, the United Kingdom is very intelligent. And I believe that it's one of the reasons why this country has stayed this long. There's a small island, does not have any natural resources, but the intelligence to manage what it has made it a first world nation. The things that Nigeria has, the UK doesn't have them in terms of natural resources, but Nigeria cannot boast of the kind of might that the United Kingdom has, and it's part of the UK government and the powers that be being deliberate about how this environment runs. And if you move against this environment without caution, this environment has a way of penalizing you and punishing you for it. All right. So the tax is 20%. The higher you go, there's a level you get to, your tax become 40%. And for the most of it, you see people being discouraged. Some people say, oh, you know what? And it's true. If you're not going to be working seriously in a way, working more is just earning less. There's a way you work in the UK that it doesn't make sense to even do two jobs. All right, because if you're earning, I can't give you the exact details now, but I'm aware that once your salary crosses the threshold of 40,000 into like 52,000, your tax, or between, I think should be around 55,000, your tax becomes 40% tax. In which case, if you were earning 1,000 lower than that particular level, your tax will still be at 20%. All right, which means that you may be collecting 55,000 pounds, and the person collecting 45,000 pounds is taking more money home than yourself. All right. If you are collecting 100,000 and your tax is 40%, it means you are going home at the end of the month with 60,000 at the end of the year. So the taxes are quite high here. And don't forget, that is your pay as you go. There is your national insurance. And then there are other bills, all these other bills that I have mentioned. And maybe in subsequent, I'll create a video specially for bills. The other thing I want to say to you, if you're a new migrant here, one of the things you need to watch out for is work-life balance. There is very negligible work-life balance in the United Kingdom. For most new immigrants, the family is structured, must be structured in a way so that at least one of the parents can stay at home or be available for the children. It is hard to have both parents at home at the same time. Well, after COVID, one of the innovations that came around is that you work from home for some days, then you go to work, and we're grateful to God for that. But I'll say to you that the work-life balance is very, very hard. All right, because in some instances, the father goes to work in the morning, he does a 12-hour shift. By the time he's getting home, his wife is going to work, and the wife would have left an hour before he arrives. And by the time the wife is arriving home the following morning, the father has gone out an hour, and the children are forced to make certain decisions by themselves. And you have a scenario where the man and his wife may not even set eyes on each other for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, in some instances a month or 2 months. And then this demand of trying to make ends meet endangers the children, because now the children will know when dad is not around, when mom is not around. The children are going to be at the whims and caprices of different factors and different forces within their environment from school. And I want to say this to you: the school system here is very, very influential. Not just the teachers. I mean, they do their work, but the things that your children can learn from other children will turn your children into what you never expected within a short period of time. The work-life balance here is very, very tough. It's very, very hard. And guess what? In spite of it, many people are still unable to make ends meet. As a matter of fact, most people have no savings and many people are living on debt. So, one of the things you need education on, one of the things you have to be deliberate about, is you need to sit down, look at your family, and be clear about what you want to achieve with your stay in the United Kingdom. All right? More to be said on that on subsequent videos. We'll look at work life balance in another video. Okay? All right. So the other thing I said to us earlier, that this environment is extremely regulated, and don't try to cut corners. Don't try to cut corners. It's going to bite you in the back very, very hard. All right. These people are very deliberate. For example, I'll give you an example. You can't just drive in the United Kingdom. If you, let's say you're coming from Nigeria, for example, you can drive the first year with your international driver's license. After the first year, that's done. You're done. And the first year is not the first year starts counting from the day you get into the UK, not the day the license gets to your hands. If a police pulls you over and that license is expired, you're going to be in trouble. You can jeopardize your entire driving career in the United Kingdom. The UK government and police, they are not joking, they are not kidding around, so you need to be careful. All right? So, before you get a driver's license, you're going to apply for a provisional driver's license. You don't need to do anything to apply for it. Apply for it. Just apply for it. They give it to you. All right? You pay some stipends, they give you the provisional license. Now, with the provisional driver's license, you are still not expected to drive. At any given point in time, you are not expected to drive. If you are going to drive, there has to be somebody that is at least above the age of 21 years with you, who has been driving for more than 3 years. That is part of the stipulation, the regulation governing driving. I wouldn't know if it has changed now, but as at the time I'm doing this, that's part of the regulations. All right. And having said that, that still does not imply you have a driver's license. The provisional driver's license is what you have. It's one of the documents that allows you to be able to apply for the two tests that would ultimately give you your permanent driver's license. First things, you have that. When you want to apply for your theory test, you need the number on your provisional driver's license. If you pass your theory test, or when you pass your theory test, then you have to do your practical test. You need the number on your provisional driver's license. And these two tests are very, very important. Without them, you'll not get a permanent license. And the day the police pull you over, you are driving without it. That goes into your record. It may be waiting for you at the point of getting your ILR or at the point of getting your British passport. Now, don't forget, one of the conditions for you getting ILR and British passport is the good behavior, the concept or the idea of good behavior. You see, that good behavior has no definition to it. You can be denied ILR for just almost reasons that will make you cry, you know? Like you got in here, you still while you are still in the excitement stage, the honeymoon stage of arriving in the UK, you jumped behind the steering and started driving and you violated traffic light. And after that, you never committed any offense. That singular traffic light you violated, it goes into record and it can be waiting for you on Judgment Day when you want to collect your ILR. All right. So I say to you, be careful, be careful. There will be theory for you to write. There will be a practical test for you to write. I will do more videos on this that explains detailedly what these tests are and how you can prepare for them. And I say to you, I did my driving test. I passed my theory once, although I sat for it 3 times. I passed my theory once, the first time, but then there was COVID. Um, After 2 years, that theory test result expires if you don't get uh, your license. It expires. So you have to go back and do the theory test again. So after COVID, because of COVID, there was no theory test being organized. After COVID, I sat for another one. I failed it. Um, I failed it by a couple of marks, you know. I think I was 2 marks short the required marks. The total mark will be about 50, and I think the pass mark was 43 or 45. I can't remember. And I got 2 marks lesser. So I failed the second one, so I did it again and I passed. Then I went for my practical. Now, this part of what I'm saying, I did my driving, I failed my driving practical test 6 times. 6 times. I failed it 6 times. All right. And I passed it the 7th time. Um, More to come. So just look out for videos. Again, this channel is dedicated to mentoring, encouraging African migrants. And in some future dates, I'm trusting God that would have a robust African community meeting within the United Kingdom where we can pull forces together so that our children will have it easier, better than we have had it so far. Okay? So to say that the environment is very, very regulated, all right? Because of the work-life balance, again, community is very, very important. Where you work matters. You find yourself spending more time at work than at home. Therefore, I want to encourage you. Don't make cheap enemies at work. If the environment is not good, begin to plan yourself. Plan yourself to move into a better environment, working environment. If you put it too hard, God will help you. All right? The pursuit of your ILR and your British passport, the government is constantly changing the goalposts. So you need to be abreast of information that concerns this thing. I don't believe there's any Nigerian coming here who does not want the British passport. It was a very strong desire that I had. And yeah, God has been kind to me. I got it after 5 years. Again, that's because I came in through the spousal route. All right, some route. And recently, Kemi Badenoch has made a suggestion, which looks like the current government, Keir Starmer's government, is really considering. They're pushing it up to 10 years. You live here for 10 years before you get your ILR. And then after you get your ILR, you spend 1 year and then you get your naturalization, which means that for you to get a British passport anytime soon, it's going to take an average of 13 years, except you're on maybe things like the spousal route. Okay? If you're coming to the United Kingdom, help is not easily available everywhere. You can have two Nigerians living in a building, and both of them will not see each other in 6 months. So don't think that there's anybody here that is going to do a mungo for you. You're a young couple, you're just coming in. Don't start giving birth to children like you are trying to reproduce Nigeria in in England. You're going to suffer for it. All right. So you have yourself to plan with, not your neighbor downstairs because she's Nigerian or he's Nigerian. Get that straight. All right. Huh. Now let me say this to you: if you're not thinking in the United Kingdom, your life will waste. Be clear about what you want to accomplish, and here are a few recommendations. Number one, I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor, I believe in prayers. Prayer is non-negotiable. Prayer is non-negotiable. Prayer is non-negotiable. Um, the witchcraft in this place is systemic, is intelligent, and is high tech. Most people think there's witchcraft in Nigeria. The witchcraft in Nigeria is at the nursery level because you can easily see them. They are really people. Here, it is systemic. It is, or anyway. So stay prayerful. Number two, be clear about what you want out of living in the United Kingdom. I can't say more about that. Number three, all right, stop converting pounds to Naira. Your bills are in pounds. Stop converting pounds to Naira. It gives you a false sense of wealth. And then very soon you're going to see that you keep running after the pounds and you're not catching up with it. All right? Stop it. It is the trap that almost everybody falls into when they come in here until they wake up and it's getting too late. Number four, live within your means in the United Kingdom. Don't seek to impress anybody. Nobody's impressed by what you drive, what you wear. Nobody, absolutely nobody's impressed. You'll see people who are very wealthy riding bicycle in the UK because they want to keep fit. They're not going to get cars that um, are bogus to take pictures to show off on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Facebook. You don't want to do that. If you have that bad habit, this is where you keep it away. Otherwise, the UK will just use your life to build a system, and afterwards, there's nothing left for you and your family. Be careful. All right. Number five, debt. Debt is and debt is inevitable in the UK. It is how you use it that matters. Mortgage is a debt. But it's a good debt because if you don't buy a house and you're paying mortgage, you'll be paying somebody else's mortgage. Your landlord has a mortgage facility, and your rent is what he or she is using to pay the mortgage. So debt is good. It depends on whether you understand debt as an instrument of wealth. Okay. But now, don't go get credit card and start buying shoes and start buying clothes and start buying things that you don't need. Uh, Debt are not easy to pay back in the UK. Debt are not easy to pay back in the UK. So be very, very careful. Avoid crime. The United Kingdom is very unforgiving when people, especially that are not English, commit crime. Do you know that if you falsify any information on your visa application and they find out, it's an automatic 10 years penalty where you cannot apply to the United Kingdom at all? I mean, for 10 years, you can't even make an application, let alone visit the UK. And the same thing is applicable to those living within the United Kingdom. Stay away from crime. All right? Stay away from crime. The UK is very disciplined. If you park your car where you're not supposed to park it before you come back, a ticket is waiting on your car. If you overspeed where you're supposed to be doing 70, you are doing 85. You get a mail at home waiting for you in your inbox that shows your picture, shows the speed limit of that road and the speed limit, the speed you were on, and the fine. And they give you room to go to court to go and protest it. You will still pay at the end of the day if the court finds you guilty. So understand, these people here, they are not kidding, they are not joking around, all right? They are not playing games. Okay, the UK is very unforgiving when it comes to that. Now, I want to say to you that www.gov.uk is one of your best friends. Go there for vital informations as regards living in the United Kingdom. All right, before you start talking to everybody, go there and go and read up. Don't be an illiterate in a country where you are required to have a basic minimum English language understanding. Even people who are other European countries who come in here who don't speak English very well, they make efforts, they go get lessons and they start learning the English language. So ignorance is not an excuse. All right. You need to use that website very, very well. And lastly, I'll say to you, please do not cut corners with your taxes. The United Kingdom is really depends heavily on taxes and service-based economy. So when you try to steal in the area of taxes, the UK will come very hard on you. The other thing I'll say to you is that if you're overtaxed, oftentimes UK is in the habit of returning money to you if they have overtaxed you. I remember the time they returned some very good amount of money to my wife, and it came in at the right time. Sometimes last year also they returned about £2,500 to me, having overtaxed me for since the time I started working in the United Kingdom. And the same way they will return money to you if they've taken from you. If they find out that you are taking money from them, they will come after you and they'll get that money back from you also. Okay? You don't want them taking money from you for a tax evasion or some sort, or your tax wasn't complete and then you're having to pay double the tax you should be paying because you're trying to outsmart the system. Don't do it. All right? Uh, I hope you got something out of this video. Again, these are some of the things I've learned 6 years in the UK. I hope this is something for you. Please stay put. I trust that I'll be bringing you valuable information. I mean, basic information. Some of them you almost think, why is this? But anything that can help you here in the United Kingdom, as especially an African immigrant, I'll put up here for you. I'll be sharing sometimes with documents. Of course, I'll block certain personal information from them, but I'll do my best to bring documents that can help you. You can see sample of what you're doing so that you're not walking in the darkness and you're not flying blind. All right, take care. Don't forget to like, recommend my channel, and please do subscribe. It helps it helps the it helps YouTube to recommend the video to other people. All right, see you and God bless you. Cheers.